stick with me, we are almost there. We are now at the last part of the niche validation process. Congratulations on even making it this far. It's definitely a good sign for sure, as a lot of people do start courses and never finish them. But the fact you're watching this one is obviously a good sign, as it shows you are serious about affiliate marketing. So what do we need to look at in the last step, which is niche rankability? Well, pretty much niche rankability entails how difficult it is to rank on Google for the keywords you want to target. We can determine this by using the free Mozbar Chrome extension, which I'll walk you through in just a second. But pretty much what we want to do is look for websites that are on page 1 on Google and that have a domain authority, which is what DA stands for, under 25. Now, the reason why we want to look at domain authority under 25 is because domain authority pretty much tells us how powerful that website is, right? How authoritative that domain is. If we can see websites on page 1 that are less than DA25, then that is a very, very strong indication that we can also rank for this keyword, as domain authority 25 really isn't that high. Of course, if you are good at SEO and you're really confident in your SEO skills, then you can go for a higher domain authority rating. However, if you're completely new to SEO, then I recommend you go with 25 and under. And like I said at the start, if you're not going to be using SEO as your traffic source to generate affiliate commissions, then you don't really need to pay attention too much to this specific video. So let's head over to my browser and I'll give you another real-time walkthrough, as once again, I don't just want to cover the theory, I want to give you a real-time practical walkthrough as well. Here is the Mozbar Chrome extension. All you need to do is go over to Google, type in Mozbar Chrome extension. It's going to be this one right here at the top. Give it a click and then get it installed to your Google Chrome extensions. And by the way, to use the Mozbar, you will need to create an account with Moz. So again, if you just go into Google and type in Moz, it will be this one right here, moz.com. Just pretty much sign up, create an account, and then that is linked to your Mozbar Chrome extension. It is completely free to create an account with Moz, by the way. You don't need any of the paid solutions just to use the Mozbar. So once you've got the Mozbar installed, it's going to look like this. If you don't see it in your browser, it's most likely going to be hidden. So just click this little puzzle icon, find where it is, and then click the pin, and then that will pin that to the front of your Chrome extension. So I already have my Mozbar pinned. So the next step we need to do is pretty much Google one of our keywords and see what websites are on page 1. So let's go with our first one. We had best outdoor tents. Now we want to go for the biggest keyword possible, which is best outdoor tent without the S. So I'm going to simply copy this keyword, go over to Google and search for best outdoor tent. And then once I've got my results, I'm going to click this Mozbar Chrome extension and then give it another click. Sometimes you have to click it twice. And what it's going to do is overlay this bar onto each website. So on the right hand side, you can see it says DA. That is a domain authority metric I was referring to. And we can see the website in position 1 has a domain authority of 45, which is a little bit high, right? It's over our 25. However, let's keep on scrolling down to see if we find any less authoritative websites. We've got t3.com, domain authority 87. Wow, that's really high. We've got domain authority 54. Again, really, really high. Domain authority 60. We've got another 60. Another 60 here, and we've got a couple more websites at the bottom. Domain authority 76, 83, 44. So that's pretty much the lowest one we've seen, 44. But again, that is still a lot higher than domain authority 25. So already I can see that all the websites on page 1 for the keyword that we want to target are really authoritative websites. So we are going to struggle to rank on page 1 of Google if we decide to target the best outdoor tent niche. Now, if you're really set on this niche and you just want to really figure out if it works, you can go for other keyword variations as well. As one thing I have noticed is that a lot of people, instead of calling it best outdoor tents, they may go for best camping tents, right? As camping is exactly the same thing. So if we go back to our keyword research tool and change outdoor to camping, let's have a look at what the keyword says. It's probably going to be a lot more higher. We can see 77,700, so almost 78,000 searches. So it just goes to show if you go for a different keyword, you can get a lot of different keyword variations. However, remember, this is just a process to give you a rough estimation on what niche is the best to target. You can always go through the same process later and update these figures if you find a better keyword. However, I already know from experience, because I have a friend who owns an affiliate site in this niche, it is very, very competitive if you go for outdoor or camping. But if I take the main keyword once again, best camping tents, we copy that, go back over to Google, best camping tents. If we scroll down, we can see we've got domain authority 45, 54, 87, 60, 60 again. So again, really, really high domain authorities. 60, 95, 76, 94. It's actually even more competitive than the initial term. So again, we can see that this keyword is very, very competitive, and I probably do not want to be targeting this niche. I always recommend going for the biggest search volume on here because it gives you a good indication of how competitive the niche is on the whole. If you go for one of the smaller keywords, maybe you explore all 3,974 and look at the ones really, really low at the bottom, they're probably not going to be that competitive, but at the same time, they don't have that many searches, so it's not worth doing. What I'm going to do is go back to my niche rating spreadsheet and what is the rankability, in my personal opinion, for outdoor tents? Well, as we saw, the lowest was, I believe, domain authority 45, if I'm right. That is quite high, a lot higher than my 25. So I would give this a 3. It's going to be very, very hard to rank for this niche. So we'll do exactly the same thing for table saws. Let's go ahead and actually delete these gaps because it looks a little bit messy. Let's just keep it nice and clean. So table saws, again, find out the biggest search keyword, which we already discovered from the previous video, was best table saw. So I'm going to copy that keyword. Go over to Google and type in best table saw. I'm going to scroll down, and as you can see, the website in position 1 is a domain authority 23. So the site that ranks number 1 for the biggest keyword that we want to target is under domain authority 25. This is a really, really good sign, especially if the site's number 1. Below that, we've got domain authority 45. Then we've got domain authority 28. So again, a pretty decent number. 28 isn't too high over 25. So again, this is definitely doable. We've got a 76, so quite a high one right there. Then we've got domain authority 11, super, super low. That's literally less than half of what I recommend. Then we've got a 37, a 42. We've got another 22. So again, another really weak website on page 1. I think we've got a couple more at the bottom, or just one more, domain authority 31. Again, that's not even much higher than the 25. So as we are seeing multiple websites on page 1, all below domain authority 25, this is a really, really strong sign that this is a good niche to go after, as I'm very confident that I can rank for this keyword. And one thing I just want to clarify, as I did used to get a lot of questions in relation to this, is, Josh, how many domain authority under 25 sites should I see? Well, pretty much as long as you see one, that is a good enough indication, right? Because if one weak website can make it onto page 1, then there's no reason why you can't make it onto page 1 as well. The more weak sites you see, the better. So again, now we have all this information and data to our hands, let's go back to our niche rating spreadsheet and rate the niche rankability out of 10. So as we saw, lots and lots of websites on page 1 under 25, and we saw a couple not too much over 25, and in addition, the website that ranked number 1 was under 25. This is a really promising sign. So I'm going to give this a niche rankability of number 8. So there we have it. We have now filled in all 4 columns of our niche rating spreadsheet. We can see the total rating for both niches. So for outdoor tents, we have a total rating of 12. This is actually out of 40, as we have 10, 10, 10, and 10 here, which is obviously 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 40. And for table saws, we have a niche rating of 30 out of 40. Clearly, table saws is the better niche we should be targeting. And ideally, as a rule of thumb, you want to go for a niche that at least has a niche rating of 20 and above, which you can see from my note I've put here. So even if I didn't have table saws, let's imagine I had another niche and it was, maybe 15, I wouldn't even target any of these niches. I would go back to step 1, list out some more niches, and then go through the process again. I know it does take a lot of time, but it's really important you invest the time required, as this is literally make or break when it comes to building out your site. If you build a site in the wrong niche, it's going to be much harder for you to generate results. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to be using table saws as a niche for the training purpose of this course. So in the next few sections of the course, you are going to see me building out a website from scratch, targeting this exact niche. I can't wait, it's going to be exciting, and I'll see you in the next one.